So the Lakers are quietly 500 now. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. They have had a couple of nice games. I think they beat the Bulls twice. Or no, they lost the first one. They beat them by 11 on Wednesday night. And I like this team. They're plus 5.1 per 100 possessions with AD and LeBron on the court this year. That's not elite, but it's solid. It's where you want to be. It means that when they are both healthy and playing well, that team is going to be hard to beat because they both are going to play a lot of minutes in the playoffs. I tried to look up some way to quantify this, and it didn't really show up in the numbers, so maybe I'm wrong. It feels like the ball moves better since the deadline. Even though they have guys like D'Angelo Russell and Dennis Schroeder who aren't necessarily, traditional like Chris Paul, Darius Garland, share the rock point guards, it just feels like it kind of pings around. There's better spacing. The roster makes more sense. And Anthony Davis is playing like an absolute monster. So I would not want to face this team. Provided LeBron's foot tendon and the LeBron James of feet procedure all goes according to plan, I would not want to play them in the play-in. I would not want to deal with them in the first round if I'm Denver or Memphis. I think this is a real legit team that I don't think is a necessarily finals threat just because of the health and age concerns and depth concerns, but is definitely a first-round frisky team that I would want to avoid.
Winning a series for them is very much just in play. Like it feels very much in play, and I think you're stressing the right thing on the ball movement stuff. LeBron had a quote the other day that I think hits at this. He said that the number one thing is we have multiple ball handlers. So quote, no one has to feel stressed handling the ball every possession. We've got shot makers in that starting lineup, and we have a lot of length. The recipe is here. Like it is not like. It is funny that to some degree they have gone back to like the recipe of team that won the freaking title in the bubble. Right? Like it's like, oh, we did all of this stuff. We traded all of these picks and did all these things and made all these mistakes. And you kind of got back to a version of that. And I don't think they're going to get to that same point. I'm agree with you on that. I think them winning 4 series, winning 16 games would be really hard. Even if they somehow made it out of the West, I don't think they'd match up well against any of those teams in the East, even with LeBron and AD. It's I think whoever comes out of the East is going to be the favorite, I think, to win it all this year. That's where I'm at.
I looked up the other day. Did you realize Milwaukee has 55 wins?
Yeah.
I know that just sounds like a really stupid observation to be like, did you check the standings the other day? But man, that's genuinely impressive.
Yeah, they're great.
So I agree with you. I think that they're the favorite, bulldozer. Or whoever gets out of the East, I think they would be the favorite to get out of the East is going to be the odds-on team. But do you think that the Lakers would? Let's set the Nuggets aside. Let's say I feel like I would pick the Lakers over the Wolves in the 7-8 play-in if that's what it ends up being. We'll get to another team in the play-in in just a moment, but I'll say I would pick the Lakers. So let's say they get the 7 seed. Them or Memphis?
Mm-hmm. I'm probably picking the Lakers.
I feel like I might too.
And also just that series is spicy. There's heat there, and it's you get Triple J and AD, you get Ja going against the LeBron of it all. You get LeBron trying to beat this younger team. Dylan Brooks will surely do something that will piss somebody off in that series. He'll probably piss off LeBron at some point in that series. And we should note beyond the guys they got at the deadline, Austin Reeves is just legitimately pretty great for them, and he feels like a guy that is going to show up in
their
the
new starting lineup. Russell, Reeves, James, Vanderbilt, Davis, 38 possessions, not a lot, plus 40.2 points per 100 possessions. Per 100 possessions. They're outscoring teams by 40 per 100 possessions. That is probably one of the better starting lineups, provided it stays. It won't be that good forever, but if it's even anywhere near that, you're talking about one of the more statistically dominant starting lineups that will be in the playoffs. So I don't think it's crazy to buy into this team with the development that Reeves has had with the trades. I even think they've kind of tamped down Rui's role. He's not been playing great, but even the ability to kind of have him just be playing 12 minutes is not like horrible. Like they don't really have a lot of weak points in their roster when they're healthy. And Davis, man, like he's been just so good. Like I was thinking about this. Is Anthony Davis the best face-up scorer in the NBA? I think the other contenders would be Giannis, Randall, who we talked about, Joel Embiid, right? There's a lot of great ones. I think Davis might be the best considering the handle, the pull-up jump shot ability, and the size. You can't really contest his jumper, and he can dribble past you with the quickness and angles that he can get to, and he just dunks on your head when you're not expecting it all the time. I think he might be the best. I think I might genuinely think he's better than all those guys I just listed.
Yeah, I might give Giannis just a slight edge because I feel like Giannis is a little bit more inevitable just because of the strength and some of the bruising nature of what he can do. But there certainly is a ton of craft in AD. Like I would definitely put him ahead of Randall for sure. I mean, like the pull-up game, the ability to kind of switch into a post-up if he needs to, some of the footwork. Brendon, the real only question I have with this team is just health. That's where I'm at with it. Like, is LeBron going to be healthy enough? Is AD going to be healthy enough? If those guys are healthy, they're going to be a pain. And if one of them gets hurt, then we're back to just where we were because this team is in the plane race and stuff. But certainly that's where let me ask you this before we wrap up on the Lakers. Who do you have more faith in making the conference finals? The Lakers or the Warriors?
I think I still have to say the Warriors. I think Curry is the best player of anybody on those two teams. I think that they have vastly more, institutional knowledge than the Lakers. I mean, the other part of the Lakers thing is they've never really played they haven't played many important games with each other. This is a team that, even though the trades were good, it still was 2 months ago or 1 month ago that happened. And so they're not exactly like a seasoned, experienced group. But I mean, I think next week we're going to do sort of like our final questions heading into the final week of the season. And one of mine is, are we ever getting Andrew Wiggins back? And if not, then maybe the Lakers is the answer.
It doesn't seem like it. Yeah, I mean, this could be second round if the Warriors stay at 6, and we'll see what happens, obviously, vis-a-vis the Clippers, who are 5 right now. You could get Warriors-Lakers round 2 if both those teams pull off upsets. Or you get a Lakers-Kings series maybe, which is like a throwback to the 90s in a very fun way. There's a lot of fun There's a lot of fun stuff. And look, Brendon, it kills me to admit it. Sometimes it is just more fun when the Lakers are involved than LeBron, and particularly for me when LeBron is involved. When LeBron is involved, it feels bigger. Things feel like just like a
I will tell you, as somebody who had a vested interest in the Suns beating them in a very similar 2-7 type of matchup in 2021, regardless of whatever optimism I had about some advantages the Suns might have maintained in that series, I was absolutely terrified. I don't think it's different that he's now 37-38 versus when he was 35-36 then. I don't care. If it's him and Davis even, you're never going to feel comfortable. They're going to own, the vibe and the just it's the Lakers, it's those two players. And when you're talking about Memphis or you're talking about Sacramento or you're talking about even Minnesota in the play-in, that matters. It's intimidating, it's nerve-wracking, and they're good now too, on top of all the whatever you want to throw in there as far as the superlatives that I just said. So we'll see.